Hey guys, it's JonTaun for Total Brohammer. Today I'll be bringing you a match between me as the Beastmen and the Gobbo King as the Skaven. Alright. So, we'll go over armies real quick. We both went with very wide armies here. So, 1900 on my side and 1700 on this side. So I actually have more troops than them. So I have a bunch of Ungor Spearmen Herd, Gore Herd with shields, Ungor Raiders. I got Synagors here and here with some hounds, Synagors with throwing axes, and some Gore Herds with shields on the side there. His army consists of Clan Rats, Stormbringer with Halberd, and Assassin. Actually, he's got Queek Headtaker, who's a more attractive choice now that Scroll Guy's Liber Bubonicus nerfed, and he got a slight price reduction. And the rest of his army is a Doomwheel, Plague Priest, 3 Rat Ogres, and then he's just got Slave and Scaves just dotted all around, all over the place. So let's get into gear here. So, as you can see, well, I guess you can't see that, but we're a few seconds in, and my formation got all messed up. I had a misclick, and now look at my formation. So, I just have to start looking at manual orders here, so that's fine. But, yeah, we're just gonna get in here. This is a pretty crazy one, guys. So I'm gonna try to get Morghur over here. I'm gonna charge into the Skaven slaves and start shooting him up. I want to get through the fodder really quick, and Ungor Raiders can be really good at doing that against the Skaven. So over here, he has his Doomwheel, his Stormbringer with Halberd, and his Rat Ogres coming in, and they're just going to absolutely make mincemeat of that whole section right there. So I'm just trying to break through this section over here, help Morghur out. Going to get some charges in with my Synagors, have my Synagors with throwing axes swing around here so that they can shoot into the Doomwheel. Moving in with my Synagors and going out to the poison, just to clear out some of the stuff in the back. Moving in with my Gore Herd over here. Pretty slow. We're holding up okay on this side, but yeah, with the Screaming Bell around causing that fear and terror, and the Rat Ogres, they're also doing pretty good. So it's hard. It's hard. So I'm throwing my Synagors with throwing axes into melee combat to try and save my Ungor Raiders. I have these Ungor Raiders shooting at the Doomwheel. I'm gonna have them focus on these Clan Rats because they'll do a lot more damage to the Clan Rats. And I'm gonna move this group of Synagors and Poison Hounds over to intercept this Doomwheel. As you can see, these Gore Herd with shields have broken through these Skaven slaves. I'm going to get rear charge on these Clan Rats with shields, and also muck up this Doomwheel over here with these Synagors and Hounds. And I'm going to swing around and collapse on these guys, and have my throwing axes just constantly shooting into that Doomwheel, because we really got to take that out, because the Doomwheel is a very threatening unit to the Beastmen here, just because of how susceptible the Beastmen are to fear and terror. Now, Morghur over here is getting messed up. He's got the Rival High Talisman on him. He's fighting Queek Headtaker and Assassin. He's in a bad place, and at this point, I'm going to admit I lost track of him just because how much is going on over here, and I was actually kind of concentrating on the Doomwheel, and I assumed I could leave Morghur alone for the most part because just how tanky he is. So I'm blocking the Stormbringer with Halberd up with this mobile force right here. Not the best mobile force to block them up, but you know, it's all I had right now, and I really want to protect my archers. I'm going around my Brave Shaman, popping, what are they called? For some reason, these guys are attacking these Skaven slaves. I don't have them on fire at will, so I don't know. I guess I tried to give it order on the Doomwheel, but I misclicked. That happens to me a lot, honestly. So I'm just constantly cycle charging with my Synagors. I'm going to have all my Ungor Raiders start shooting in at these big blob of Rat Ogres. Rat Ogres are lightly armored and big targets, so they'll suffer against things like Ungor Raiders. So I'm trying to get my caster away from them over there. Got some guys hanging around doing nothing right now, which isn't good. Thankfully, I do get a Chaos Spawn summon, and I'm going to be able to do some more damage over here and scare off these Skaven slaves. My attacks in the rear have done pretty good, and he's got some units back there, but at this point it's not looking great for me, just because look at all these Rat Ogres, and look at all his infantry just won pretty well on the right flank. I won pretty well on the left flank, but at this point in the battle I'm feeling like it's mostly in his favor. But I'm really trying to get these Ungor Raiders, try to finish off these Rat Ogres, because they are a huge threat to me, and Ungor Raiders are really good against them. So I'm going to disengage over here with these Synagors, because they are up against Stormbringer. That's not where I want him to be. He's chasing my caster with all his Rat Ogres, so I'm going to pull these spears and this Gore Herd in here. And, well, the spears at least. And try to get my Brave Shaman out of there. I'm going to have all my Ungor Raiders switch to shooting at these Stormbringer. And also charging the Synagores because I see their wavering and I really need them to break so that my Ungor Raiders are going to be protect. Ungor Raiders are going to protect. Over here I didn't realize that Morghur the Shadowgave comes back, but every time he comes back he just has Rival High Talisman on him. Or actually, rather, what's it called? Trophy heads on him. Because both both Queek and the Assassin have a rechargeable trophy head, so they're just constantly cycle charging them. So I got a good surround on these Ratgors over here. I'm going to start shooting them up with some more Ungor Raiders. And as you see, we're going to get a route here, and these guys aren't doing too great all of a sudden. So, taking an overarching look on the battlefield, it's pretty hectic. It could go either way. Right now, it's looking more in my favor, but consider what he has left. He has Scroll, an Assassin, a 1/4 health Doomwheel, so I'm doing good work with the Synagores throwing axes, but this Plague Priest is also going to be a huge problem. And he has gotten Morghur off the field. Honestly, at this point, I should have just thrown him in the woods so that he can regenerate. Well, I'll have to see what happens to him, because I don't actually remember what happens to him in the battle. I was so concentrated on keeping my archers safe and my Synagores moving. Alright, but yeah, at this point it's looking pretty good. I have a commanding infantry lead. He's got a bunch of weak, very, very weak infantry all spread out over the place. I'm going to charge this Doomwheel. I have my archers shooting it up. I really need to take it out. Unfortunately, my Synagores with throwing axes get caught up by some Skaven slaves over here. Thankfully, they won't take too much damage just because of the 4 stats of the Skaven slave. Like, even Synagores with throwing axes are going to be able to beat them in melee. But right now they are shooting at the Stormvermin with halberd, and I did order that one because they're armored, so they're a threat to most of my units. So I have my Synagores over here holding up this Plague Piece. They did some good damage, but of course they're gonna lose to the Plague Priest. I got these Synagores with. Are those Synagores with throwing? No, okay, those are just regular Synagores. I'm trying to muck up this Doomwheel with them. Unfortunately, I gave an attack order on this Ungor Raider to shoot into that Doomwheel, but instead they got the line of sight bug and decided to walk forward. So it does happen to archers too, guys. Just not nearly as much, not nearly as bad. So yeah, like I said, it's looking to be in my favor. I got a pretty strong infantry blob here, all fighting Queek Headtaker. He's got an assassin back here chasing my archers. He's sprouted out these archers, but they're gonna come back and I'm gonna start shooting into these Stormvermin halberd. But my Synagores are not faring too well. But as you can see here, this is my mistake. I need to spread out because now he's coming in, and now with all these Ratgor charges, he's gonna do so much damage so fast, and he's gonna be able to rout off all these guys with this round. And that is really not good for me. The Ratgors just do incredible charge damage. So I see that his Doomwheel hasn't been finished off, so I'm moving my Synagores with throwing axes over there to deal with that. And yeah, that blob got destroyed. So all of a sudden, now it looks like he has the commanding lead here. So the name of the game now is, what do I got left? Ranged units. I'm gonna have to kite. I'm gonna have to kite hardcore with these Ungor Raiders and these Synagore with throwing axes, because he's got a big blob that. Granted, he's fairly vulnerable to range fire of the Ungor. For some reason, these guys have the line of bug sight too, despite the fact that they have a firing arc and can shoot over this house. So, yeah, it happens to archer units too, which is unfortunate. I'm gonna start throwing my axes into this Plague Priest, as he's the most armored thing out here, besides maybe like Queek. He's got 110. Plague Priest has 100. In any case, he has Fear and Terror, and he's also going to be able to do a lot more AoE damage. So not worried about that. You see I have a block of Doom that tried to go down on this Blig Bob, but I targeted these Skaven slaves and they did break off, so that's unfortunate. I'm going to turn around and charge into these Clan Master Shields, and I'm going to make sure to keep on moving with this Brace Shaman Beast. Now this is the point where I almost lost it, because he gets a hit on that Brace Shaman Beast, and oh, that was so close. If I had lost this guy, my leadership probably would have broke. So now all of a sudden, it's kind of looking like it's more in my favor. But you gotta consider what he has left. I see that Queek and the Assassin are chasing my caster. To make sure they don't catch up, I'm gonna go ahead and cycle charge them, just to make sure that there's no funny business there. I have my units coming back to muck up the Plague Priest and these Rat Ogres, and I'm gonna have my Ungor Raiders just start peppering these guys all over the place. Gonna take these Synagores with throwing axes and swing them into range of this Plague Priest because I really want to finish this guy off. That's a very, very threatening unit right now. Thankfully, we are getting these Rat Ogres routed, and unfortunately, my Ungor Raiders are shooting at the Skaven slaves. Skrulk and Queek. I'm just not used to people taking Queek Headtaker. Queek and the assassin got held up by some Ungor Raiders, and now I'm sending some Morghur to hold them up while I finish off this Plague Priest. And yeah, guys, it is a crazy battle. Right now, I'm looking pretty good, so it was swinging back and forth there. But it is by no means over, because if I sit in sustained combat with Queek Headtaker and the assassin, they can probably beat my entire army in sustained combat melee. So I gotta make sure not to do that. He's got some Rat Ogres coming back, and right now the most important thing is to keep my range unit safe and to keep my Brave Shaman of Beast safe. So he's gonna run in there and finish off those infantry, completely shatter them. They are out of the game. And now it's just up to my range unit. So I got 3 Ungor Raiders left and a Brave Shaman of Beast. Got some Synagors with throwing axes with a little bit of ammo. I'm wanting to shoot at Queek Headtaker over here. I have these Ungor Raiders shooting at the Rat Ogres, and thankfully they do shatter. And a pretty dangerous moment here. The Brave Shaman got pretty close. I shouldn't have let him get that close with the Rat Ogres there, but fortunately for me, they did indeed didn't break. So the assassin only has 20 armor, so I'm gonna have my archers mainly focusing on trying to get him down while trying to kite back with him. Unfortunately, like I said, line of sight bug. They don't want to fire over this house for some reason, which is unfortunate. As you can see, I'm using the last of my axes on Queek here and doing quite a bit of damage. I'm going to move these Ungor Raiders back, and every time he switches targets, I'm going to have the target that he stops chasing start shooting to the back of this assassin. So I'm going to have these guys start running again, and now, I'm just going to have to shoot these guys and cycle charge them to death. So at this point, we're just going to be, it's just a kite game. We were playing a competitive match, so I had to do it to him. I had to do it to the boy. But yeah, it could go any way at this point. Because once I run out of throwing axes on these guys, I'm gonna have to engage. I can try to cycle charge him to death, but I don't want to do that all too much. I'm gonna go ahead and engage my Synagors over here. Every time he's gonna get close to my Ungor Raiders, I'm just gonna run over there and knock him over. So yeah, losing mobility in fights is just really, really dangerous. So I go ahead and rout off this assassin with these Synagors. Thankfully, Synagors aren't the worst in melee. 28 melee attack and 21 melee defense. And the reason they're okay right now is not only because they've gotten chevrons throughout the battle, it's because they have perfect vigor. So that really, really helps. As you can see, it's surround Queek here, and his leadership does go into the game. So a really good game, a really close game with Gobbo. It went back and forth several times. Let's look at the breakdown here. So, Morghur the Shadowgave got 75 kills, probably on slaves and shit, but I lost micro on him and got him killed, so bad on my part, As you see, the Brave Shaman of Beast here with 160 kills with just running around in his chariot and using those Flock of Dooms. Look at this Ungor Spearman herd, fighting slaves obviously, but 101 kills. Look at that, a lot of kills across these guys. Some of them did terrible. These guys must have been the Gore herd at the very beginning who got charged by that Doom Wheel and the Rat Ogres. They got dicked. They got dicked. My Synagors with throwing axes were just so good in this case. In taking out, so instrumental in taking down the Doom Wheel, his lords, and his Plague Priest. Like all his important targets, most important targets. Synagors with throwing axes. Love these guys. Even with the nerf to their splash damage, they're still amazing. Ungor Raiders did a lot of HP damage and, just a lot of morale damage with that range fire. Did some good cycle charging with the Synagors. Chaos Warhammer's boys didn't do too much, but they were good. As for Gobbo's army, he also got a lot of kills. Look at these Rat Ogres. 112, 118, 131 on the Doom Wheel, 80, 100 Storm Vermin also did very well. As well as all his single unity targets did well. Plague Priest, 145, almost as good as my Brave Shaman of Beast. But yeah, a very hectic game with the Gobbo King. I was macroing like crazy. We were actually doing it live together. And they were like, you're not speaking much, JonTaun? You having some trouble over there? I was like, God damn it. But I was able to pull off the win just barely. So yeah, it was a fun game. It was a fun game. We both went for massive armies, and it was just a fun one to play and a fun one to watch, I think. But anyway, this is gonna be JonTaun for Total Brohammer signing out, guys. I'll see you in the next one.